Thank you very much, Jane. And to introduce the new RIBA Research Medal and join me in announcing the winners of this year's RIBA President's Awards for Research, I would like to invite to the stage the Chair of the RIBA Research and Innovation Group, Professor Flora Samuel.
Good evening. It's a great honour to be here to announce the winners of the 2015 RIBA Research Awards. As the new chair of the RIBA Research and Innovation Group, it's my first time in this role. So first of all, I must give my profuse thanks to the outgoing chair, Professor Murray Fraser of the Bartlett, for all that he has done in the name of research at the RIBA. The RIBA President's Awards for Research promote research and researchers that contribute important new knowledge and understanding to the fields of architecture and architectural practice. Research awards have been given by the RIBA in various formats for well over 50 years, but tonight is particularly special as for the first time we are able to award a designated President's Medal for Research. And in doing so, we give much needed recognition to the vital role that research plays in the health and future resilience of our profession and of society more widely. The new medal takes its place in a long history of medal commissioning, selecting and giving at the RIBA, begun by the father of the Institute and former president, Thomas Leverton Donaldson, a keen connoisseur of antique architectural coins. Medals were, for Donaldson, bearers of architectural knowledge, an idea affirmed by the new medal, but in a refreshing and forward-looking way. This medal, presented in a case and without a ribbon, is designed as an object of meditation, to be explored at once intellectually, through the mind, and physically, through touch. In this way, recognizing the importance of different ways of knowing. The brainchild of Anne Dye, head of research and innovation, the design was put out to an open competition, attracting a varied range of designs based on a thoughtful and challenging brief developed by Neil Sassaw. The judging team comprised the president and immediate past presidents of the Institute, Professor Ruth Morrow, chair of the Research Awards panel, Charles Hind, chief curator at the RIBA, as well as various members of RIBA staff. We were assisted in the process by Philip Atwood, keeper of coins and medals at the British Museum, an eminent numismatist with great enthusiasm for contemporary design, who taught us what it really takes to make an enduring medal of the highest possible quality. The design of the winning team, wife and husband, medal maker and architect, was clearly a front runner from the start. Together, Nicola Moss and Simon Beeson, who are in the audience, I'm pleased to say, have created a timeless medal of which the RIBA could be truly proud. One side of the medal, entitled Earth and Sky, is traversed by a horizon line that cuts across its center, a threshold between the labyrinth below that makes up the earth and the textures and levels that make up the sky and the sun. The reverse, a powerful reimagining of the Institute crest, shows not two lions facing inwards, as is traditional, but shows instead a lion and a lioness, looking resolutely outwards, united by the apple tree or tree of knowledge that stands between them. The new medal will be awarded to the project and its author or authors judged preeminent in the category of research. It acts as an important reminder of the key role played by research, and we hope the research awards in the long-term future of our field.
Thank you, Flora. The first of the research awards, given for outstanding master's degree thesis, goes to Holding Hands, Touching Alterity, Dance as Spatial Practice at Monte Verita, 1914. This thesis is an account of the self-sustaining anarchist community at Monte Verita set up by the architect movement theorist Rudolf Laban in 1913. It focuses on a series of 7 high-definition autochromes, one of which is pictured here, taken by Johann von Meisenbach around the outbreak of the First World War. An attempt to open up alternative histories of spatial practices, the writer draws on feminist and queer critiques of Merleau-Ponty's work on phenomenology. Described by the judging panel as fascinating, compelling, and elegant, it tackles the fundamentals of architecture: body, space, and movement. Supervised by Professors Jane Rendell and Barbara Penner at the Bartlett School of Architecture, the award for Outstanding Master's Thesis goes to Christopher Purpura. We now move on to the second category for doctoral research, and the commendation goes to Territories of Scarcity and Creativity, a critical view on informal settlements and emerging tactics under conditions of scarcity in Nairobi, Kenya, and Quito, Ecuador. Described by the judging panel as completely gripping, the study looks at scarcity not as something quantitatively measured, but as a constructed idea that impacts upon material form and its relationship to scarcity. Thorough and rigorous, the thesis stemmed from concerns with issues affecting the built environment in contemporary cities of both the global north and south, including economic crises, accelerated rates of urbanization, and the depletion of resources. Carried out at the University of Westminster, supervised by Professor Jeremy Till and John Goodbun, the commendation in the PhD category goes to Isis Paula Nunes Ferreira. And the winner of the category for Outstanding Doctoral Thesis in the President's Awards for Research Programme goes to Translating the Concept of Sustainability into Architectural Design Practices, London's City Hall as an Exemplar. The thesis focuses on a single case study, London City Hall, to interrogate a recent project demonstrating the causes and effects of architects' design decisions. Extracting remarkable forthrightness from interview subjects about the power struggles between clients, engineers, and architects, the author charts the Pyrrhic victory of form over performance that has led to failures in environmental standards. This thesis, supervised by Professor Robert Taverner and Professor Leslie Sclair, was carried out in the LSE Sociology Department Cities Programme. And the award is given to Torsten Schroeder. Now, of course, as well as student work, the President's Awards for Research reward excellence in two further categories: university-located and practice-led research. This really matters. The Institute recognises that research is a lifelong activity for the architect, whether in an academic context or for practical application, and we encourage all winners to follow through their research interests and pursue them to the highest level. Well, no truer could this be than for our next winner, the authors of which won an award for research previously in 2007. Second Nature Urban Agriculture designing productive cities poses fundamental questions. What are the architectural and urban design consequences of a sustainable and resilient urban food system? What are the actions that advance and enable coherent integration of productive landscapes within cities? Published in 2014, the thesis consolidates systematic research undertaken over the last decade. The publication will be a valuable reference for any future research on urban food systems and sustainability. So, the RIBA President's Award for Outstanding University-located Research goes to Katrien Boon and André Viljoen of the School of Art, Design and Media at the University of Brighton. So last but by no means least, in this special evening for the Research Awards programme is the Award for Outstanding Practice-Located Research. Pathways to Construction Procurement Reform leading to adoption and embedding of EU Directive 2004/24/EU sets out to address why procurement processes, ostensibly set up to offer a fair and open market, were having negative and unsustainable impact on design talent accessing work, constraining opportunity and incurring excessive time and costs. Demonstrating tenacity and commitment, the submission included books, articles, reports, and conference papers showing a comprehensive investigation into the area of procurement reform of increasingly urgent relevance to the profession. The comprehensive nature of this work by the writer and colleagues across the profession asks important questions about procurement and its reform in the wider apparatus of architectural practice. And it is for this reason that the judging panel, peers and colleagues, voted Walter Menteth of Walter Menteth Architects as the inaugural recipient of the new Research Medal.
Yes, I would like to invite collaborators who I've been working with for about 4 years to join me on the stage because, as you all know, in such endeavours, it isn't the work of an individual necessarily that drives the support, it's the support that they get from colleagues and friends, and particularly the fellow directors of Project Compass, Russell Curtis and Bridget Saunders. Wow, this proves it's Christmas. And I think this is probably the first medal I've received that isn't filled with chocolate. So it's quite an honor, and I'm deeply touched by this. At these occasions, I would like to take the opportunity, through the course of this work, which has been identified to you, has been over some considerable period of time, to thank all those colleagues in the profession who have been so generous with their support and have, in many ways, helped to drive it forward. It's an urgently needed issue that we need to address. And my particular thanks, as I've identified, for Russell and Bridget and Owen O'Carroll, who sadly can't be with us today, from Project Compass, the patrons of Project Compass, and also for the generous support I got from the RIBA in putting money behind what was really rather a poorly described research proposal at the time, done in rather a rush, the usual story, but they generously agreed to provide some resources that contributed towards it. And in addition to that, the commitment of one of the honorary fellows of the RIBA, who wishes to remain anonymous, but who has also contributed towards the funding of this research program, has been, we cannot thank her enough. On top of that, my university, where I teach part-time 2 days a week, has put up with many of my foibles for a number of years while I've been doing this and probably not doing enough of my job otherwise. I don't think that's quite the case, but I'm underplaying that. The point I think I would like to really get to you all, to you, is that this ball and chain of public procurement has been constraining talent in this country now for far too long. It's having significant impacts on our economic growth, and it is significantly damaging our profession. We hope that this research that's been put in place will actually give us the foundation to go forward to remove the discrimination in practice that is currently happening. This isn't going to be an immediate process. It will take time to embed, and we need to continue working forward on it, and we need to continue working forward as a profession if we are to see the talents of this country unleashed and unlocked. And that is the way that we can have economic benefit and advance. Now, I came at this as a practitioner working in a small practice and decided that it was in fact better than writing innumerable pointless PPQs and wasting the business, the time of the profession. Instead, I decided to start writing the research. I think it is an excellent idea that practitioners engage in more research because sometimes it is necessary to change the fundamentals of what we are doing. And so I'd like to thank you very much on that note.